What's up, gamers? I'm Todd Bonzalez, and I am joined today by my good friends Tun and Yori. How are you two doing today?
Great.
Doing
Outstanding.
fantastic, Todd.
Wonderful. So we are here to broadcast the first round of the Pokemint tournament. You can see here I've got the bracket up on the screen, and we are almost done with the first round. I am going to be playing against Pyers. As you can see, I'm the number 3 seed because everybody decided I was the third best Pokemon master at the very beginning. Uh,
And we were right.
yeah, it was actually a random number generator that put me in the absolute hell quadrant of the bracket where if I win against Pyres, I'll have to face off against Finn, who played a really inspired match against Ads and won, and then Ads down in the loser side of the bracket. And I'm honestly scared of all three of those trainers because they all three seem to really know what they're doing, and I really, really don't. I haven't played competitive Pokemon in about 21 years. So yeah, getting back into it. So if you don't know what this is, if you're catching the VOD or watching this on YouTube later, so this is a draft format that we did. We're calling it Pokemint because it's the fans of the Kansas City Breath Mints Blaseball team, which is an online game that I'm not going to explain because I don't have enough time. Just look it up. It's baseball, but with an L after the B. And yeah, so this is what the draft looked like. Pyres, my opponent, had the number 2 pick, chose Garganackle, and this was after a whole bunch of bans. Of course, we banned everything that was an Uber, we banned everything that was a legendary, and then everybody drafted their team. So I've got my team here toward the end. You can see I've got Tyranitar, Slowbro, Brambleghast, Armarouge, Heracross, Florges, Muck, Sudowoodo, Crabominable, and Cacturn. Meanwhile, my opponent, Pyres, has Garganackle, Gastrodon, Kilowattrel, Cloyster, Blissey, Copperaja, Passimian, Skuntank, Bruxish, and Bennett, and I don't know which 6 he is going to be bringing to this match. Now, Yuri, you were doing a little pre-show over on your Twitch channel, um,
Yes, I was.
and I watched it, and it didn't seem like you believed in me very much going against this
Uh,
Pyres team.
it's less that I didn't believe in you, and more that it's an uphill battle for sure. It's the thoughts that I had before everything, which was like, oh, this team is hard to kill, but like, where's the damage come from? I was just like trying to put the puzzle pieces of like, where does Pyres get the damage?
Yeah,
And I think I figured out a couple ways that Pyres can get damage, and then I went back to your team and I was like, okay, so I know where the damage is coming from. What can Todd do to actually kill the things? And like, it's not impossible, um, but I feel like you just have to like, be creative with your damage dealers in order to get that damage in.
yeah, I'm gonna have to play really well for sure. Pyres, I think, had the highest base stat total of all the teams, and I think was pretty much the consensus favorite um, heading into the tournament. Everybody seems to think Pyres has the best team. Um,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
would
about
I would
best. I
agree.
would say Pyres has the most annoying team to deal with.
Yeah, I would agree that that was the general consensus coming out of the tournament. I share some of Yuri's concerns in terms of where does the damage come from because there are some more offensive Pokemon on this team. Passimian absolutely can deal out a lot of damage. Cloyster has Shell Smash and things like that. Kilowattrel can even do some stuff. But even then, those are things that are a little easier to prep for, right? And the real strength of Pyre's team is just in how many walls there are on this
Hmm.
team, and I think that was scary for people at the beginning. I gotta say though, I've played Todd. I've done a practice match, a couple actually, against him. And when I used my main team against his team, he beat me.
and that
And
that
not
was
only
my
did he
team,
beat
the version of my team I specifically built to go against Pyres only. So
Yes. So not even prepped for me. Granted, I used the team I used against Yuri, but he won, and not only did he win, he was prepped and he played very well. So I don't. I could be proven wrong here, but I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say I don't think this is a wash. I think this is gonna be an interesting match.
don't
And this is one
sleep
I've been looking forward to.
don't sleep on Sudowoodo. I'm just saying.
Do You can't sleep on Sudowoodo, and you can't sleep on God Gonzalez. All
Oh,
right.
That's true. That's true.
that's right. Yeah, I'll
I
have
will
to
say,
play like a
uh,
god.
shout out to Sudowoodo. That is one of my partner's most favorite Pokemon. It's just a funny, funky little dude. Who can like the only problem with Sudowoodo is it's just so damn slow.
It's not very good. And I think it was probably a reach to take it as early as I did. It probably would have been available maybe with the last pick, but it's my guy, and I like it, so I wanted to pick it.
That's all that matters.
And so yeah, I think Pyers is ready. I still waiting on that challenge, but whenever we're ready to go, you two are going to take over the commentary. I'm going to turn my mic off. I'm going to turn my headphones off. I'm not going to be able to hear you at all. So yeah, it should be starting any minute now as soon as Pyers sends me that.
Yep, we're going to be taking over the commentary. I'm going to be doing your play-by-play, and we've got Yuri here to do color.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, you two faced each other in round one, and that
We
was an
did.
epic
We sure
match.
did.
How long did
It
that
sure
take
was.
in real time? How long did those three take?
Oh, gosh.
An hour and a half at least.
Yeah, an hour and a half combined.
Disgusting.
And that first match was the first hour of that. It was a really. We were playing slowly because we were trying to feel each other out a lot. And
Yeah. We were playing pretty slow, and obviously, I think turn-wise combined, it was almost as long as both of game 2 and 3 combined. Game 1 was.
It was an hour of just switching, it seemed like.
There was a lot of switching going on.
There was a lot of switching.
It was a very positional match. And I was able to narrowly get the victory, which I'm proud of. But
I've been waking up every couple of nights going like, how did I forget how choice specs works? Or belly drum. I could have just
you wake
belly
up you
drum.
wake up in a cold sweat.
Yeah.
Belly drum.
Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of all of the replays of the matches in the first round. I think there were some nerves going around because I think everybody made at least one or two misplays.
Yeah.
I think you
Oh
can
yeah,
probably
for sure. I mean,
and
sometimes they're misplays. Sometimes you just do a read and you capitalize. Not everything is 100% going to happen in Pokemon. There's randomness, so who knows?
Yeah, and you got to say you're you can never play perfectly, but I think that we both acquitted ourselves pretty well in that match. I think that the match of the tournament so far for me happened yesterday, which was Finn versus Ads. That was insane. Just an insane showcase of skill by both competitors. Finn managing to take it home over Ads' team containing huge threats like Dondozo and Salamence. And the real narrative of it for me was this Venomoth Quiver Dance sweeper set that Finn brought that somehow perfectly countered Dondozo, who is one of the most active threats in the OU metagame. A metagame where people get to pick OU Pokemon, most of which we banned in order to counter it. He managed to find a counter, straight up a counter to that in this specific Venomoth set that he built.
Hey Todd, are you logged in? I'm noticing that it says choose name in the top
that
corner.
That must be it.
Why did that happen?
It happens.
There we go. I was wondering why it wouldn't work.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties.
Thank you for vamping for me. But I think we're just about ready to go here. I'm going to turn myself off, like I said, and we should be good to go. So I'll let you two take it away.
All right.
There we go. This is exciting. I'm really excited to see what Pyres is going to bring. There's honestly a wealth of different options that I honestly did not go over.
Yeah, I don't think that Pyers' team is the I don't think Pyres is in that situation that a lot of people are in, where you want to bring the first 6 Pokemon. And he very much has not done that here. Ooh. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is a team. Wow. Okay.
That is a team. Bruxish. I was looking at Bruxish and going like, I don't know if that's good enough to show up, but it does. Passimian's a really interesting opener though.
So Passimian comes in and it's an immediate close combat. Good switch out by Todd here.
Yep.
And the sand is now up, which isn't really particularly helping one player over the other.
No lefties on Todd Jr. over there.
No leftovers. I wonder what that's about.
I'm guessing it's heavy duty boots. I was looking at it, and Pyres has so many options of setting up hazards that like But also not very many ways of getting rid of hazards is also a thing I
And it's
figured
the
out.
future set by Todd, and it's the Caparaja coming in here. Wonder if we might be
Hmm.
seeing a bit of a repeat of our match, Yuri, with Slowbro setting up, not too different from
Hmm.
Slowking, and really bulky defensive Pokemon coming in. And the Stealth Rocks are up. And what will be going on here? It's a Surf into that
Surf.
unit. Oh, and it's
That's
Curse.
curse.
It's a Curse
Interesting.
set. And that future sight is not doing a whole lot.
It's
And Todd has
not.
to figure out something to deal with this thing.
Also, lefties on Caparaja. This is gonna be a hard Pokemon to kill, but also it's got the curved setup already. So like, what do you do? I don't know if there's like a great switch in here.
Yeah,
Um,
if I were Todd, I'd be trying to get I'd be trying to get that Heat Man in there, just as a special attacker, something
yeah.
to kind of. Oh, and it's a hard
Okay.
switch into Bruxish.
Both players haven't done the hard switch.
The Sandstorm ending here, and in the Wave Crash directly into the Tyranitar.
Ooh, that's tough.
Wow,
That's real
that's a lot of
tough.
recoil on the Bruxish, but the Tyranitar just goes right down, and the
Yeah, it's
first
a pretty
KO
hard
going to
trade.
Pyers. I don't
All
know
right.
if Todd was ready for
Oh,
that thing to do
heavy
quite
duty
so much.
boots on our Bramblegast. This is basically the exact set that I was looking at earlier,
Hmm. This
which
Brambleghast did a lot of work when I played Todd.
I can imagine. So, like, one rapid spin setup, this is already a pretty speedy Pokemon, and there's not like
Hmm.
anything super fast on
And here it
Pyres'
is,
side. All right, we got
star
the
of the
rapid
show.
spin, getting rid of that, and now we've got unfortunately a really bulky, physically bulky Garganacl versus a physically offensive ish.
Oh, and the Power Whip misses, and that is
That's
going to
rough.
hurt. And here
That's
comes
really
the
rough.
Salt here. That is a really rough miss to have to take. How will both players respond to that?
Would you consider just hitting Strength Sap here?
I mean, you definitely like. Oh yeah, see, there's the concern, right? Is he can just switch out into that Caparaja. It seems like the Caparaja is specially trained. Because
Yeah.
it wasn't taking much from the Slowbro, but that Power Whip is doing a lot more than you would think. And in comes Marco Stink as the curse gets set up. And it's a good
Just
switch because
Flame Orb.
now, oh, yep, it's got to be Guts. It's Guts Flame Orb. And even with a curse setup, I think that this might have a chance here. Even if because this thing isn't super physically trained. So
Yeah.
we might be looking at a switch here.
So do you hit close combat or do you hit Earthquake here?
I mean, looking at the rest of the team, yeah, I think I like the close combat play.
All right.
And there it is.
That's what
Oh, and
Todd
that's a
goes for.
KO.
Gets that KO instantly.
And Todd strikes back. And now there's a lot of pressure going out here. Yeah, you got to go here. You got to go into the I've forgotten this Pokemon's name.
Kilowattrel.
Kilowattrel, thank you. Kilowattrel comes in. It's Air Slash into the Armor Rouge.
That's unfortunate. Like you really want Armor Rouge to take that physical hit to activate weak armor.
Oh yeah, is it weak Armor Rouge?
It's
And
the other choice is
now
Flash Fire, and I don't know if Pyres has a Pokemon that will use a fire move on Todd's team against
that's
Todd's
true.
team.
This is really difficult. Although now that you've got this is sort of a Pokemon I think Todd can afford to play around with a little bit because I don't think that Armarouge is sort of a win condition. I think he can kind of afford to play a little fast and loose here and try to punch a hole in Pyres' team. Pyres taken a while to pick a move here, and I think it's because there's a lot of pressure being put out here. Short of
Yeah,
an Air Slash flinch, there's no way Kilowattrel is going to be able to finish this thing off.
I think Pyres is thinking about like what a good switch in is here.
Volt switch, okay, that
All
makes
right,
sense.
Volt Switch for the delayed switch.
Good nickname on the Kilowattrel. Big fan. This is something I've been looking forward to is Pyres' nicknames because Pyres hasn't really put them anywhere.
Ooh, that's such a
Ooh,
big hit.
that is a
Gargoyle's
meaty
slow
hit.
too. Like,
That is
do
a
you?
meaty hit onto the Garganacl. And that is a lot of pressure right there because you have to imagine the Armarouge is faster.
Yeah, Garganacl has base 35 speed, so I'm not sure why Todd is thinking about a switch in. Like, you can just get free damage in unless you're really worried about like the turn afterwards. But like,
Yeah,
you're just like
I don't know about the call to switch here. You know,
if
he
if
must have
Pyres
something
isn't
that
also switching, then this is just a free salt cure on any Pokemon that gets switched in.
yeah, that's true. Although you have to imagine Pyres is going to be trying to switch here, so maybe Todd is trying to position for something,
Yeah,
but
I think I'd.
you don't know. Oh, he seems like he's thinking it over.
Yeah, I kind of love the idea of just getting free damage. This is like
Yeah.
something that I was doing a lot in our game,
Nope.
is
Here
just
it
knowing that
goes,
you were going to switch a lot and
and it's a
going.
double switch, and that works out pretty well for Todd.
Yeah, this is actually pretty
Well,
good.
yeah. You know what? I just remembered it's a dark type. Yeah, yeah. There it is. And here comes the surf onto the Skuntank, but that's not doing a whole lot.
That's not doing a lot, and that's especially offensive Skuntank. It's kind
Yeah,
of scary. Like,
and this is tough because normally what you would want to do is switch in that Florges for that defense. But if this thing goes for a poison move, I don't think Florges beats it.
I think Florges does beat it because Skuntank doesn't have great special attack. It's only 70 compared to its
Mhm.
like 100 physical attack. So as a special attacker, it's got better move coverage, but much weaker as a
Ooh,
Pokemon.
and it's the
Ooh,
facade into the
okay.
Garganacl. But again, I would say, okay, Todd's shaking his head here, but I don't think this is terrible for him. I think that this
This is a
is.
pretty good spot still.
And the Garganacl goes down. Todd
Garganacl
gives a
stays
thumbs up to
in.
the camera, and
Ugh.
Todd, he's saying, "Yeah, no, I was ready for this. I was ready for that Pokemon."
Yep. There's no way you can stay in as Marco Stink against a air slash here.
And there it
Yep.
is, and Todd
That
sending in
air
his.
slash did so much damage. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I wonder if this thing is physically trained.
It may be a all-out attacker. Like I was toying with this in my build of just like, what does Florges do? There's not like that many special hits you want to take.
Oh, and Todd, he
Calm
sets up.
mind.
He sets up in his face. I don't know if that was the right call, but man, it was ballsy.
Oh,
You have to imagine this is heavy slam. And the
it's
wish comes
100%
out, and
heavy slam.
that picks up the KO. Todd doesn't look happy about it, but he gets a free heal on whatever he decides to switch in here next turn.
Yep, and Heatman is 100% faster than Caparaja.
Yeah, and you have to imagine Armor Cannon is going to take up the KO. And even if you get an advantageous switch in here, Heatman gets healed, and that's a tough situation for
Yep,
Pyres.
Pyres is
Pyres
just gonna
stacks,
take it. At the
takes the.
very least, Heatman does get a stat drop.
Yeah, you can try to send in that Bruxish and maybe try to finish it off, but if you're Todd, I don't know why you don't just switch in something else, right? And question, is Bruxish a fast Pokemon?
No, it's actually quite slow from what I remember. Let me just go look it up real fast.
Okay, because if Bruxish is slow here, then I like the play to just attack. It's fast. It's fast.
It's kind of fast. It's got a
It
92 base speed. It is kind of
Oh
fast
no.
actually.
That crunch is scary as well. The fact that that thing has access to crunch is
Yeah.
pretty
Well, so
scary. And now Todd is
it's
in a.
strong jaws crunch.
Oh my goodness,
I would not
this
be
thing is
surprised if it
fast.
was choiced also.
This thing has to be choice scarfed, right? Like there's no
hmm
way it's outspeeding Bramblegas normally, right?
Bramblegas is also not like the fastest
Ooh,
Pokemon.
and Marco Stink just barely takes that, and then this thing finally goes down. I don't know if Todd has enough to beat the Kilowattrel now. Somehow this Bruxish has swung this entire match. Todd wasn't really ready for it, and he let two Pokemon go down when he didn't need to. And yeah,
Todd gave him the
I think
shrug.
you need. I I don't know that there's a way to win here. Yeah, Thunderbolt just picks up the KO, and of all things, the Bruxish doing a ton of work in game one. I don't know that Todd was ready for it. Yeah, Todd Jr. goes down, and game one goes to Pyers.
Tough loss. Todd was in a pretty good position
hmm
until getting swept by the Bruxish. It's really unfortunate. But like,
Yeah.
it's also a Pokemon that like I don't know very much about. You don't know very much about. I don't know how much Todd is prepared for Bruxish either.
No, absolutely. And I think that I mean Crunch is obviously very strong against his team. There's three Pokemon that left that were weak against it, and I think that you really needed to preserve that Armor Rouge just to beat the Kilowattrel. And not being able to do that was unfortunate. I do think that there were some pretty intelligent sacks there at the end by
hmm
Pyres. We'll see what both trainers decide to lead. Todd leading with the Armor Rouge. Clearly, he
Very
liked how it
interesting.
went last time. And you got to love this situation for Todd, actually. Both players leading
Yeah.
with the
Well,
Pokemon that probably did the most for them last game.
Pyres is absolutely volt switching right here, getting a different switch in, and we'll
Todd saw
see.
it coming. Todd saw it
Yeah.
coming. He's Aura Sphering.
Does Bruxish? No, it's a
Oh!
Garganacl. This is actually really good. Oh,
Oh!
so huge. That's so huge.
Oh, and that
Unfortunate
that is
switch
huge.
in.
Garganackle has been such a non-factor in these matches, and Todd is continuing that.
I just noticed that Heatman is choiced. It's
Yes.
locked
Yeah.
into Aura Sphere, which is just kind of good across the board here.
Yeah, I mean the only Pokemon that resists it is that Kilowattrel, right? And if you're Pyres, I think you're hesitant to switch a Pokemon in that you just switched out.
This is the other Pokemon that's
Oh yeah,
resistant.
and sorry,
Bruxish is psychic
Bruxish is
type.
a psychic type. Let's never forget. All right.
This is kind of scary though. It's definitely
Yeah,
gonna hit a crunch. Like, what do you put against that Pokemon?
the fairy type, right? You
Probably
you
the
you
fairy
put
type.
Florges in. Wave Crash. Okay, so he reads the switch. That's a lot of damage on the Bruxish, but
hmm
oh boy.
Wave
Yeah,
Crash is
and
kind of. I guess you just put Todd Jr. in to eat the Wave Crash, huh?
eh, well, but then he could just crunch, right? I feel
I
like
I, I thought it was choiced based off of how speedy it was.
oh, it could be yeah, you might want to operate off the idea that it's choiced. And if it is choiced, it's locked to Wave Crash. So yeah, Todd Jr. makes sense. Um but
We're
no, he goes
seeing
for
here
Marco.
cross instead. Yeah, that's
Oh!
that's unfortunate.
Todd did
Todd was
not expect that to
absolutely.
kill, and that is a big, big loss. You take that trade any day of the week if you're Pyres.
Yeah, at the very least, Todd's done better in this game than previous brushes didn't sweep
Oh,
like 4 Pokemon.
and not a good switch in for Todd because now this thing just gets to wail on his team.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got the switch in to the Ghost type, which can take the likely close combat.
He goes for
A
U-turn.
U-turn. Okay,
It
that was
activates the
that
weak
was actually
armor.
way better for Todd to get the Heatman switch in.
Oh, and we could be looking at a sweep right here, folks. This could be it. If Todd picks his move wisely here, that we could be looking at a sweep. I think that you got to go like armor cannon here, right? Because the Garganackle is so low HP that you
Yeah,
want you want that neutral damage against Kilowattrel.
our sphere is also defensible because it also doesn't miss. But
Oh, it's
oh,
sucker
sucker
punch.
punch,
I didn't even think
sucker
about that,
punch.
but yeah, it's
Yep,
sucker
that's
punch.
sucker punch.
Oh, and that is a knockout blow right there. It could be. Because right now the only offensive Pokemon left on Todd's team is that Tyranitar. He's got to get some kind of offense flowing through it. But this thing right here just does a lot to Todd right now.
This is an interesting adaptation from Pyres. In the first game, we had a lot of Pokemon who were just like trying to set up some hazards, and this time Pyres like, don't care about that. I'll just kill your Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Pyres is playing way more aggressive than I think we
For
expected.
sure.
The triple mind game of drafting all of the bulkiest Pokemon and then bringing almost none of them.
Yeah, that is very surprising to me. I was expecting to see at least 2 or 3, and only getting the Garganackle, which kind of the only one you really need. Anyways, it's such a good backbone for any team.
Yeah, you got to say though, Todd, give some credit to Todd. He's done an amazing job neutralizing it.
For
And
sure.
here comes the Tyranitar, and this Skuntank probably can't do a whole lot to Tyranitar, right? And so if you're Todd, you're trying to figure out, okay, what move should I try to hit it with?
Interesting. Going
And
for the
Todd
Dragon
goes for
Tail.
Dragon Tail, Dragon Tails, Dragon Tails. It's almost time. And
Ooh,
oh,
that's
that
maybe
that
the
is
worst switch
unfortunate.
impossible.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta get Todd Jr.
I
involved here,
think you gotta
right?
get Todd Jr. here because if Persimmon uses a U-turn again, that is a kill on Brambleghast almost for sure. And
Yeah,
I'm fairly certain Persimmon outspeeds a Tyranitar.
yeah, and
All
it's
right.
knockoff.
Yep.
And it's the covert cloak, which Todd
Covert Cloak. Interesting.
he must have brought that for Salt Cure.
Oh, that makes so much sense, actually.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Um,
that Todd hasn't been positioning with Slowbore more offensively against the Garganackle in that case, then, you know?
ooh, and Garganackle gets the switch in, and Future Sight coming out. I wonder why. He must have. Oh, it's recovering, and it just goes down.
It's not, yeah, that's nothing,
I think
unfortunately.
Pyres wanted the free switch in there. Okay, question: does Future Sight do Dark types? Are they immune to Future Sight?
I think they are immune to Future Sight. I
That
don't remember
sucks.
because I haven't played enough to remember.
I have no idea, and it's about to matter a whole lot because Play Rough misses, and they are
It's immune. It's immune. Okay.
they are immune. And now what do you do? Because this thing definitely has a poison move.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's Poison Jab. That's so
Uh-huh.
interesting to run Dark Pulse instead of Crunch on Skuntank.
Uh-huh.
I guess it's a kind of
So
both, huh?
right here, what do you do? Because okay, Todd decided to go for Stone Edge,
I
which is definitely the riskier play. He was betting that the Kilowatts roll would come in, but that picks up the KO on Skuntank anyway.
Yep, but Passimian just comes in now,
Yeah,
and
Passimian
we're
comes
kind of in a
in.
bad spot again. I wish that
Yeah,
there had been an opportunity to get that slack off onto Slowbro.
and in comes the U-turn, not a fighting move. U-turn. Kaparaja comes in, and Todd goes for Dragon Tail, and what
Oh,
happens? Ooh,
Kilowattrels comes
Kilowatts
out.
roll. I don't know that there was a good outcome of Dragon Tail there for him.
No, I kind of like
Um,
just like hitting Earthquake instead, and
yeah, I think
or
yeah, because
Stone Edge even.
now Thunderbolt, and again, I don't know how you get past the Kilowatt roll.
Uh, you're hoping for a big power
Air
whip
slash
crit.
missed. That's
That's
a
part one.
start. And oh, that's doing more than I would think. If this thing can survive air slash, Todd has a shot here. Actually,
I think there's a good chance.
all right,
It's
and
gonna
it's the
happen.
switch,
Passimian
the
comes down. All right,
Passimian,
power
and
whip. Ooh,
ooh,
that's pretty good. That's pretty
all
good.
right. But does the Passimian one hit KO it? I think it probably does.
I kind of think you, as Todd, just hit rapid spin and hope that you get faster.
Yeah, Rapid Spin seems like a good move, but he doesn't find it,
No.
and knockoff happens, and that just kills. And it's all up to
Now we're
Todd
left with Todd
Jr.
Jr.,
It's all
who
up to Todd Jr. Can
does
Todd
not have a
Jr. win
ton left in
this?
the tank.
Yeah, you knock off, and then you put in the Kilowattrel, and you Thunderbolt, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's no chance for Thunderbolt to miss. There's no win condition here.
That's very
Oh,
unfortunate. Oh, what a quick second game.
that
Yeah,
was tough.
that was probably hard to watch. I apologize to my viewers. I apologize to my family. I've brought shame to the name Bonzalez, but I learned a
I
lot.
don't think.
No, I learned a lot. Pyers brought completely not the team that I was expecting at all. I
You
Yeah,
didn't
were
I
saying that, yeah.
I didn't know what Bruxish did or that it had psychic type. I had no idea.
Yep, it's a strong jaw, pretty fast.
It outsped my whole team.
It
Well,
has 92 speed. It is
yeah,
by far one of the fastest Pokemon that Pyres have actually drafted.
man. Yeah, I prepared
yeah.
for I prepared for like everything except Bruxish. Yeah, well.
So Sun Tzu once said that every battle is decided before it begins, and I'm starting to believe that. No, I
The
I
Sun
think
Tzu
that
guy kind of knows what he's talking about, huh?
yeah, that Sun Tzu guy might have been onto something. No, I huge credit to Pyres. The difference in that match was definitely the team composition,
Yeah.
right? I think
Yeah.
Pyres knew that Todd would be preparing for a certain kind of team, and he threw just a completely different sort
Yep.
of team.
Yep.
Um, I do want to give some credit to Todd because Garganackle was a complete non-factor
No.
in both games.
Yes, that's
So
absolutely true.
in the sense of like prepping for your opponent's biggest threats, Todd did amazing. Um, Garganackle is not an easy Pokemon to shut down, even when you've got OU Pokemon to deal with it. And shutting it down without even really relying on that Slowbro, which you geared toward stopping it, is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get to set up a single hazard. That the Passimian pressure, I wasn't expecting that to be the lead.
Yeah, it was
Because
very interesting. The first game, both of you.
Pyers named it the closer. That's its name. You can't
The
just bring it out
double
as the
mind
lead.
game.
God dang. Brilliant, brilliant stuff, Pyers. I'm impressed. Do you two know how much experience Pyers has doing this? It
I
seems
assume a
like they know
lot.
what they're doing, but
I assume that my impression has been that Pyres and Finn, who are incidentally playing each other next round, are the two most experienced
oh, okay.
Pokemon players here.
That makes sense.
And we've got Pyres in the chat saying good games to Todd. I agree. They
Yeah,
were
yeah,
very good
absolutely.
games.
Great games to Pyers. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
And good luck. I'll be rooting for Pyers. Because if Pyers goes on to win the whole thing, then me losing to Pyers won't seem so bad. But
Yeah, and the bracket is really starting to take shape now. We've only got one first round matchup left,
yeah, Molly
and it
versus
is
Ross.
the one to decide who I will be playing
Hmm.
in the next
Also,
round.
who I am playing in the next round.
That's right.
That is true. Winner plays me, loser plays Yuri.
Yep.
And then
If we look at some of these, if we have time, we can look at some of these second round matchups.
mhm.
Up in the winners bracket, we've got what I think could end up being the match of the tournament: Pyres versus Finn. That
Oh
is,
yeah,
that should, based on what I've seen, that should be winners finals. I don't know why it is happening in the round of
because
in the
again,
round
this
of eight.
this this little four of the bracket is just hell.
Yeah, right there. That's pretty rough. I mean, the fact that you're in losers bracket and your first round opponent is ads is
And
It's
Ads has
tough.
Dondozo,
This is
so
this is a really tough side of the bracket for sure.
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I mean, ads could very well have beaten Finn, and then your opponent would have been Finn, and that wouldn't have
Mhm.
been easier by any means.
I feel much more prepared to face Finn. I feel like I have a lot better counters for Finn's team. So I was just hoping to face Finn in the second round. I didn't care if I won or lost. I just hoped that that would be my second round matchup and then I could dodge ads.
Yeah.
Alas, it's looking like Todd's going to go 0-2, get knocked out early, but that's okay because next time you won't be
It's
sleeping on me again.
Yeah, no, well, and I mean, if we do seeding, then you would get a very high seed, which I don't think would be reflective of
Hmm.
your ability in this game, right? So you'd be a huge deal.
Yeah,
Although I'm not ruling out any kind of losers bracket run. I want to be clear about that.
that's yeah.
I'm not counting out touchdown Todd.
Yep. And also, you've got this great replay that how Finn was able to defeat Ad's team, how to neutralize his Dondozo. Like, you've got plenty of material to work off of to try to put a team together for next week.
I will be honest, I've watched that replay a couple of times and I have no idea what's going on at all.
Hmm.
So so yeah, we'll
It-
see. We'll see.
Yeah. So the only remaining first round match is Ross versus Molly,
Mhm.
which I am fascinated to see because I don't know what either of them are going to bring, and I don't know how either of them are going to play. And I have no idea how to prep for either of them. So I'm grateful that I get to see them play a little bit before I have to go into that because I think there's a lot of Pokemon that scare me.
I think Molly is almost certainly going to be running a Trick Room setup, and then Ross has Mimikyu, which is just fun and good. So yeah, that'll definitely be a fun one to watch.
So I know here's the secret tech that I know from doubles is that Mimikyu can run Trick Room also.
Yes.
Ooh, cancel the Trick Room with your own Trick Room.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
also Sylveon's a Pokemon that loves Trick Room. It's not
Mm,
the fastest, and it's got a decent amount of bulk, and it also
yeah,
hits like a truck.
Todd has a number of Pokemon that actually do pretty well in Trick Room. Clawitzer would be a really nice sweeper. Mudsdale, um, uh,
Crabominable.
Crabominable even.
yeah,
Yeah, not to say
that's
he's going to
mine.
bring all of those,
Do you mean
or
Ross?
he doesn't have Crabominable.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have
sorry.
Crabominable.
Yeah,
Ross has Clawitzer.
yeah. And Clawitzer's only flaw is that it's slow, and so you put it in Trick Room, and there it goes. Um, but I would say, yeah, I mean that's a match I'm definitely looking forward to. The other second round matchups are, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be Val versus Liam, right?
Hmm.
And we also have who is Kata playing?
Oh, K-Dub is playing
Numbers.
against Numbers.
Numbers, right?
Mhm.
And then Todd versus Ads, and then I'm in losers bracket. It's going to be
Spool versus Smallfish, and then Yori versus TBD.
right. Oh man, that is still just some amazing matchups.
Yeah.
What I really like about this format is that after week one, nobody's eliminated.
Hmm.
Um, so we get to see like everybody gets at least two games, and we get to see a lot of really interesting and diverse matchups
It would have
going
been
on here.
heartbreaking to only have one match with this team after I spent so much time like drafting
Hmm.
them and thinking about them and drawing them and they're my
Yeah,
guys.
I'm almost thinking that maybe next time, if we do this again, that it might be more fun to do sort of a round robin sort of deal where you've got two groups, everyone plays each other once, whoever has the best record ends up playing in like a finals match or something.
I was going to suggest that when we first started talking about the format. I just didn't want to scare anybody away by the thought of like having to commit that much. But yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
agree. I think round robin would be
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, that K-Dub is in the chat suggesting Swiss groups, which I think would also be a fantastic idea. Something to
Mhm.
make sure that there's like a guaranteed amount of games for people. Because I have to say that I am a little, I don't know. I think that like Small Fish's team is so fun, right?
Mhm.
And like it's a shame that Fish doesn't get to play, like, if they lose, Fish doesn't get to play more than 2 matches,
I
right?
was just hoping we get to see Wish versus Fish.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
you know
might.
that
We
is
might.
possible. Losers round 3.
Oh yeah.
That's the Wish v Fish matchup.
Okay, I'm rooting for it.
Hmm.
Wish Fish.
Wish Fish, yeah. Although if I were to lose, which is entirely possible, I would be potentially there to try to spoil the party a
I
little bit.
believe I
Pyers is in
believe
the chat
in
saying good idea for suggesting
Fish.
best of 3 Pyers. I see you.
Yeah. So double elam. Yeah, great job, Pyres. No, actually, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
But no, the next round is starting to really take shape, and I am excited to see how it goes. Um, do we? Obviously, we can save some of this for the stream at the end of the week when we've got all the matches. But so far, what do you get? Do you guys have any predictions for the next round?
No, I have no idea.
None. I don't even. I haven't even thought about anything. I was spent all this time worrying about my match against you, and now that that's over with, my brain has been cleared of Pokemon, and I'm just waiting to see who my next matchup is before I have to start thinking about it again.
Yeah.
I have a question as well. What's your biggest surprise from round 1?
Ooh. I didn't expect Val to beat Spoolicus that bad.
Oof. The getting the mouse hold set up and then Spool just didn't seem to have a counter for it at all.
Yeah.
Which that
Um,
would have happened to me because I don't know anything about. That's one of them new ones. It's one of them new Pokemon.
yeah. But overall, I think like the thing that surprised me and that I'm pretty pleased about is that outside of that match, where I think Spool just got hit with something that if you aren't prepped for it will just run you over. The matches have all been really close.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm all over the floor. I've been blasted into oblivion.
Yeah, but
No.
I think most of the 2-0s have felt really close. It like hinged on like a couple of things going in a slightly different way for it to not have been a 2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that frankly in your match, like the only real issue was finding a way past that kilowatt roll, and I think that if
Yeah.
you had been able to play to that condition a little bit more, you very well could have won.
My strategy was going to be set up Stealth Rock and then Dragon Tail a bunch. That's what I wanted
Yep.
to do, but it didn't happen. Couldn't
Yeah.
get a Stealth Rock out. Tyranitar was just completely countered. But anyway, I don't want to dwell on that. Anything else that you two want to say before we hop off?
Good luck, Molly, because I'd rather face Ross in the loser.
Good luck, Molly. And thanks everybody for checking this out. I'm going to raid a friend of mine if you want to stick around. His name is Beard Princess, and he is a good friend that I've known for a really long time. And I think it's just going to be funny when I show up with a raid, and he's going to be like, what? So stick around for that if you want to. Thank you all for watching. I've been Todd Bonzalez, and I'm not out of it yet. I'll see you next time with Pokemint Draft League Showdown. Hope I'm doing this right. Oh, no. Oh, well. Invalid username, it says. That's not...
Oh, dang.
Unless... Well, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. You all can keep talking. We'll fade out eventually. Oh, it's beeps now. Okay. Twitch.tv/beeps. All right. Raid beeps. How did he change that? Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right.
And thank you two so much for helping me out and doing commentary. That was very clutch. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Anytime.
love to talk. Um, But before we sign off, Yuri, I just want to say, have you considered that our first game went longer than the